Hi, I'm Clemens, and this is episode 18 of Life in Lists of 30. I love writing lists of 30, and today I wanted to share 30 requirements for a home. In this phase of our life, we get a chance to reevaluate our settled habits and preferences as a couple and a family. What parts of how we were raised do we want to keep for Evie? Which parts do we want to change? Did we default to New York because we were raised here, or can we choose something else new and exciting? As we evaluate our new home, we have a high bar of requirements. New York City is pretty freaking awesome, and we wouldn't move without a careful consideration. Note that I did write this article back in early 2019 before we reserved our spot in Denver in November of 2019. Now we're happily moved here and love the neighborhood. So let's get started. 1. Community values. The neighborhood must have a voice and feel connected, like a mesh. We looked into the local neighborhood papers and community forums before buying in Denver. 2. Safeness of community. Seeing kids playing on the porch with neighbors with little supervision shows a great level of trust. 3. Weekend day activities. We want a place where we won't be bored on the weekend. Even with the pandemic, we're able to drive 30 minutes to a nearby state park and have a half-day hike. 4. Ambiance. We're more woods and mountains people than beaches and tropics. The mountains were a great choice. 5. Standard weather. We like to see the seasons and experience the nuanced activities for each of them for longer than a week. We're better with the cold and cozy than hot and mosquitoes. It's very sunny here in Denver, so the morning is around 30 degrees and warms up to around 50 by noon. Even in mid-January, I was in shorts. It's 300 days of sunshine here and not as much snow as I would have expected. 6. Harshest weather. I'd like to avoid places that will be impacted by floods in case of global warming. I'd also like to not freeze to death or get snowed in most of the time. Denver doesn't get too much precipitation, and it tends to melt unless your house faces north. Fronts of north-facing houses often get icy. 7. Infrastructure. It's nice to have paved roads, clean hospitals, and responsive government assistance. I think most suburbs near major cities will have this covered. 8. Location personality. We are trying not to live in a strip mall. Bodegas and mom-and-pop restaurants are great additions to give a place some entrepreneurial love. I think we're just hipsters and yuppies, so we've opted to join the family-friendly neighborhood so we could be closer to the airport for frequent travels. I think there's a budding personality here. 9. Houses. We have a style in mind, but we're willing to compromise. I think we're still looking at cost per square feet and cookie cutter versus customized houses. We went with customized new build homes and we're super happy with it. 10. Job opportunities. The area must have tech scene of some sort. We're both clearly very heavily leaning towards tech-based companies to scout our skill sets. Tech jobs are booming in Denver, but since everyone is remote first, we have been fortunate enough to keep our existing positions. 11. Political alignment. We'd prefer not to live as a blue dot in a red sea, if you know what I mean. I'd say we agree in more liberal views with some conservative nuances. Colorado is a very purple and shifted Senate to blue state. There's still a split of conservatives in Colorado Springs. 12. Closeness to airport. I don't think any major cities are more than half an hour away from an airport, but it's a plus to be closer to a major airport hub. We're about 20 minutes door to door. 13. Airport hub. Especially in a job where I need to travel frequently, it'd be nice to be able to take direct flights from this new home rather than a jumper to a major hub. Denver is definitely a major hub. 14. Education. Whether it's private or public education, we care a lot where Evie goes to school and how much it will cost. We would rather invest in a good education at a younger age. Nearby school systems are very new and well-funded here. 15. Commute time. This depends on where work would be, but based on what we do, we'd likely be commuting to the major city area, a WeWork office, or downstairs to our home office. I'm not commuting now, so it's less of a concern. 16. Commute method. I personally love not worrying about having a car and where to park it. It's just one less thing to stress about. If I'm commuting by train for most of the way, then I can sleep or do work where I'm not paying attention to driving. After having a car for the past 6 months, I'm pretty happy with driving, actually. 17. Long weekend vacations. If I had a 3-day weekend, then where would I want to go within 2 hours away? If this was Europe, we can easily take a train to a new neighboring country, but in the States, we find a nice vacation hike, camping trip, island, or ski resort. Ski resorts are popular here and usually crowded. We were able to go to Keystone, an hour and a half away, with beautiful scenery. 18. Quality of restaurants. Coming from New York City, we're pretty spoiled with our food choices. I would like to think that we can spend some time exploring different cuisines and not feel like we're missing any diversity in foods. Once in a while, we like to go fancy, and it's nice to have a farm-to-table fancy place. It'd be nice to have a Chinatown here. Denver doesn't really have a Chinatown, but there's enough stores to get by. I've had some good luck finding incredible Mexican and American food. I'd definitely be craving Indian and Chinese food. 19. Cost of groceries. I love cooking and would be perfectly fine being close to a Trader Joe's or equivalent in a city area. We wind up driving to Costco for bulk items and Sprouts, basically a Trader Joe's, for fresh weekly runs. 20. Taxes. Property tax and income tax are the big ones. It can be the difference between plus or minus $1,000 per month for housing and plus or minus $40,000 per year for income. This is probably the biggest factor. I definitely make a lot more money paying Denver taxes, and the real estate taxes here are super low. 21. Healthiness of people and community. Whenever we visit a place we're potentially looking to live, we like to see what other people live there. Coming from a health-obsessed culture, fast-paced culture like New York City, we just want a happy average of outdoorsy/active. Coloridians are lean and healthy. I haven't seen an overweight person here. 22. Local fashion. What do people wear when they're just walking around? Maine, Oregon, and Washington had a lot more hiking apparel, which was pretty cool. I think I'd look good in lumberjack/flannel colors. Currently embracing the big sweaters and hiking boots. 23. Friends. Do we know anyone there? How often would we even see our friends right now? We've actually made some awesome friends here and we're loving the community. 24. Opportunity to meet friends. Are we happy with having friends in this new place? The neighborhood has come with some super cool people. We wound up meeting a lot of people through Evie's pre-K class, and we really love it here. 25. Quality of life. This is a combination of multiple factors, but my general feeling about quality of life is determined by financial and social stress. If I feel like I can save adequately and not need to buy something nicer for social competition, I'll be happy with the location. Super low stress here. 26. Types of natural disasters. Every place has its danger of natural disasters. There's hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, snowstorms, and heat waves everywhere. I'd prefer none of them, but it'd be good to know ahead of time what these risk factors are. Our areas have risks of drought and snowstorms, maybe some high winds. 27. Greenery. We're used to the concrete jungle, so I don't think we have high requirements here. It'd be nice to have some nature or close enough to stimulate it with a backyard, a park, or a common area. The neighborhood here has some great shared spaces. 28. Backyard. While I'm not super thrilled about doing yard work, there was something really nice about hanging out in my own backyard, playing with friends, and hosting barbecues. We have a big enough deck space and a small enough lawn area for me to be happy with our decision. 29. Speed of life / quote-unquote city's time. If I'm waiting more than 10 minutes for coffee because someone is taking 5 minutes to ask for recommendations and making chit-chat, this place is probably going to piss me off. I do think that my thoughts on relocation for specific to pull myself away from this type of go, go, go mentality, perhaps worth a separate blog post altogether. Denver is a good balance of efficient and friendly. And finally, 30, table tennis. Extra point if there's a spin. If there isn't one, I like to play with people of my skill level or higher and hopefully play while having a nice ice-cold beer. I've been pretty happy meeting an awesome table tennis community here, and I've played for a few months before cases rose, so I can't really play again until February or March. If you're thinking about moving, definitely make your own list of preferences and compromises. We definitely had lucked out with the community and the house. On the next episode, I'll talk about survival skills. Stay tuned for that next week. Music is by Kristen Dye. You can find her on Instagram at Iron and Silver. She has videos of incredible duets and also powerlifting. You can subscribe to a newsletter and see a very transparent set of Google Docs and spreadsheets of this podcasting journey at listsof30.com. Thank you for listening, and I hope everyone stays safe.